This isn't a Marvel channel. Just thought I'd put that out there. Eternals is the newest film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, directed by Chloe Zhao and starring everyone. I was very much looking forward to this one. I thought it looked interesting, and the Eternals are a group I know almost nothing about, so that excited me because it was something new and different. And I thought this movie was okay. It introduced some good concepts, but in the end, I don't think it quite went as far with them as I would have liked. I was more interested in what this film set up for the future of the MCU than what it was actually about. So this film centers around Gemma Chan's character Cersei, and I thought she did a good job, but her character was kind of boring. We never really learned much about her personality other than she was in a love triangle with House Stark. By the way, on that note, not enough Kit Harington. I could have used more of him. I don't know why. I thought he was going to be in this movie more, but he wasn't really. They do set up some cool things with him for the future, though, so that gets me excited. I also felt like Salma Hayek and Angelina Jolie were underutilized. Their characters kind of got sidelined, with Angelina Jolie's character doing a bit more towards the end, but I wish they gave both of them more to do during the rest of the film, especially since they're both such great actors. I felt like they could have done a lot more if they were given more material to work with. There was also some weird decisions made with some of the characters. For example, there's a point during the movie where they're all together trying to decide what to do next, and they come to a conclusion which one of them does not agree with, and so he tells them that he's not about this, and he doesn't agree with what they're doing. So he just kind of says bye, and he leaves. And I was expecting him to come back during the climax or something, to come around. Like, I was expecting that whole thing to come around again and him to return during the climax. But he never did. And I ended up just forgetting that his character was there. And he comes around, like, all the way at the end after the climax, after everything's been resolved. He comes back and he's kind of just talking with them again. And I'm just like... And I get what they were trying to do with it, but I don't really think they landed it, because I didn't even feel the loss of that character during the climax. I kind of just forgot about him. And when he came back around during the end, I was like, oh, shit, that's right, you're in this movie. And the whole thing just ended up coming off as an odd choice, because I just ended up completely forgetting about him. I wasn't a fan of the villains in this movie, the Deviants. They were kind of just like nothing. They were big CGI dogs, kind of, and the CGI was kind of goofy looking. I don't know why they didn't go for the more actual, like, humanoid look that they have in the comics. I think it would have made them feel more tangible, and like they could have been more fleshed out and like actual, characters, instead of just like big CGI blobs. One thing that I thought was pretty well done, though, was the comedy. It was more subtle in this, and not as much as in your face as the other MCU films, so that was nice. There's definitely still the big MCU jokes that they usually do, but it wasn't as much as it usually is in the other films. There's also a trope in here that's been done to death in a lot of comic book media recently, and I'm just really starting to get sick of it. When it was happening, I literally rolled my eyes. I just could have gone without it, and I wish they would have done something else during that, or just not have it in the movie at all, and just completely took that out. This video is coming out a lot more negative than I intended. Like I said, I thought it was alright. It was definitely lacking in a lot of parts, but I definitely don't think it deserves to be the worst rated Rotten Tomatoes movie in the MCU. There are definitely a couple ones that I think are worse than this. There are 2 post-credit scenes in this that set up some really cool things going forward that are really interesting in my opinion. So stick around for those. Especially the second one, revealing a character that I've been super excited to see joining the MCU, and teasing a possible team up that I think is really exciting. But yeah, definitely go see this if you're a fan of the MCU. I think if nothing else, it'll excite you for what's to come. Yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say. Bye.